think definitely the topic is very interesting, and I'm pretty sure that everybody, all of us are sailing in this boat, that how we maximize the value with the autonomous AI and agentic AI. So you have the panel member introduction a bit. So definitely this panel comprises a very great mix of the diversified talent. So one, we have the Nishchai, who is heading the digital initiative, and Hardik from the technology side we have, and Srikripa from the analytics side. So it's a pretty mix of the different digital technology analytics, and then Biswajit, who is a Chief Data and AI Officer from the Raymond, which is a very diversified industries and definitely doing a lot of cutting edge work there. And very interestingly, Pranav has joined us from the business side of the thing. So it's a mix of the panel which represents a very much enabling functions coming from data, technology, AI, and the applications. So our periphery is going to be around understanding where we stand in terms of playing with the intelligent autonomous AI, and also what are the different value levers that we can pull to maximize the value creation for the organization. And also we are going to learn and understand from the practical applications that what are the cultural shifts happening in the industry, and definitely understanding how the empowerment to the business users are going to be done. And very well, this calls for the lot of ethical grounds that we are required to address while we leverage the data, AI, and intelligent agents. So starting from a very much, I think, let me have a quick audience poll where you can just raise your hand in case you feel that your organization has started seeing high value of the intelligent and autonomous AI. Or you can just think of that you have started some of the initiatives towards augmenting the intelligent AI in your ecosystem. So in case some of you can raise the hand, that can give me a sense of understanding that, okay, it is in action. It's not just the theory that we are discussing on. So I can see some of the hands here, and so pretty much I would say by seeing the hand, it's a good 40%. So which means that this is a topic which is going across the table, and many of the CXOs we are debating that, you know, how much we invest right now in automating our workflows and leveraging the intelligent agents. So just to start with our panel member, possibly I'm going to take their understanding, and they represent finance, diversified industries, technology, and we have Blue Star, which is again in the very much the cooling industry. So understanding their functionalities and operations. So if you need to rate on the scale of 1 to 10, so possibly you can tell where you stand in leveraging the autonomous or intelligent AI into your ecosystem. So there's just a one quick, maybe the number that you can represent your functions or action, possibly starting from Nishchai.
So probably I'll rate us maybe a 2 or a 3. I think there's a long way to go. We just started.
Very realistic, yeah.
Yeah, similar numbers from my side as well. It's very early days and we have just started the journey.
Sure, Sri.
Okay, I hope I'm not sounding abnormal. We are completely head on. I won't take 1 to 10, I'll take 12.
Wow, that's a very outlier effect, I would say that. How about you, Biswajit?
Yeah, for me it is 2.
Okay, and how about you, Pranav?
Similar for us only, 3. 2 to 3 because we are still in the very starting stage.
Perfectly. So the idea is to have a level ground in terms of where we are, what is stopping us, and how really we are going to crack this puzzle. And I can tell you, like with my role, I had before L'Oreal, I worked with Schlumberger, which is an energy industry, and before that, I had a role with Mahindra Group. So similar to, I would say, a mix of Indian firms and then European and then US firm, which is very heavily in tech, at least for Schlumberger, I can say that. So it's a mix of my feeling as well. Even I can rate somewhere 4 and 5. So let me just have a quick, again, the check with them. So around the people, process, and technology, possibly I would like to take your quick 1-minute bite on it, that what is really enabling you or stopping you in terms of leveraging this autonomous and agentic form of AI. So maybe again, on your quick 1 minute oversight, you can give me Nishchai, and maybe starting from here.
I think the biggest barrier, I wouldn't say, but the flux that's there for us is we don't know where to start because the technology is evolving so fast. So at Pidilite, we built our first RAG model or RAG stack. It's retrieval augmented generation for getting questions from various documents around 2.5 years back. It's very early days. And it was getting obsolete every 6 months. So every 6 months we had a new model coming in. It was ideally either getting cheaper or there were stacks that were actually much better performing, and we had to continuously keep changing maybe the core architecture that was overall built. So I think because it's early days now, it's very important for us to be very agile and adapt to what's changing in the market. And I think that's the most biggest thing, because people and processes for now are going to keep changing. It's very important for an organization to understand that whatever they are investing in AI now has a big risk, and they might have to reinvest or re-implement something that they've already done, because things are going to change.
Sure. Perfect, Nishchai. So I think we add a little layer that definitely when we discuss people, process and technology, possibly Nishchai, Hardik, you can add what is the frame of your little prioritization along with what is your enabler or stopper while you rated on the scale of 1 to 10. So when you look at people, process, technology, what is enabling you, what is stopping you, and possibly you can help us a little bit understand what is your decision frame to do the prioritization of automation and intelligent agents there.
Yeah. So while see the concerns raised by Nishchai are very valid in terms of model changing, output, behavior and all. But say if we keep that aside, that's configurable, like model can be changed at the back end. And if we decide on a platform, like if we take last 1 year journey, now we have platforms in place which are stable enough, which can be integrated. So the next bottleneck that I see now that we are facing is integrating with our internal systems. So while the external ecosystem is being developed, so like connection with Jira or connection with Outlook connection, so those systems which are there for the productivity, for that connectors are very easily available. For internal proprietary systems, connectors have to be built in. So not all systems are enabled now. So that's where the challenge is, that internal integration is the most important, because that's what will form the layer or a foundation for the agentic agents going forward.
Sure, perfect. Yeah. So, Sri, I'm going to come back after Biswajit because you're at a pretty advanced stage. So let me just have understanding from Biswajit as well that how can AI and machine learning integration, Biswajit, is going to accelerate this data-driven decision making. So if you can just shed some light on this, and possibly you can touch upon the part of the question while you rated what is your enabling or stopping factors there. So you may add a little bit layer around that.
Yeah, thank you so much for this question and wonderful panel, and good afternoon to everybody here. So this year we are celebrating our centenary year, 100 years for Raymond, right? So we started in 1925 and we are at 2025. So we have roughly around so many SKUs. For us, blue is not blue. We have 10 shades of blue. So for us, stripe is not stripe, multiple layer of stripes. So I'm just closing my eyes the day I joined Raymond. For me, when I entered, the as a CXO, they said, sir, blazer. I said, okay, any blue blazer works. He said, sir, what type of blue blazer you want, right? So that's the first impression of Raymond, right? Taking that clue, so for us, feel, experience, color, design, pattern. So there are roughly around 72 odd parameters, right? And for us, each customer is different. When I say each customer is different, their buying pattern, recency, frequency, the way he bought, whether it's a discount buyer, non-discount buyer, he buys so many products. So I have roughly around 6-7 different brands. So for us, it's a voluminous of work. At the same time, my customer doesn't come to me daily basis, right? And there are customers who come, buy, and they leave. Next year they will come. So this is the dimensions and the degree of complexity that we have. So this cannot be done either by human engineering or Hanuman engineering. That can only be done by machine learning and AI, right? We started with machine learning. There are a lot of models that we built in-house. And then we transform those models into now a lot of AI models, right? We are keep on evolving those models. There are a lot of predictive models that we have built in the system, whether it is for my customer preferences, whether it is for my supply chain, for my inventory, because I have around 1,500 odd stores available and some 5,000 different MBOs available, right? So this is the space, right? When you come off this, the only thing that comes to me, do I have to be there for 100 years? For what reason? It's all about quality, right? And for me, this 1 crore of customers, I have zero complaint because I don't have a customer care. Zero complaint, nobody is there. So for me, the only thing that I can play around with the data, spend a lot of time on the data, ensure that the data is democratized at the bottom level, zero level, at the soft flow. That is the pyramid, and that can only happen through AI ML. Thank you so much.
Perfect. I think you've laid out very clearly, Biswajit, that how you're really playing with the integration of the different systems around it. So now moving next, Pranav is very special to this panel. The reason is that while all of us sitting on the data, AI and tech side, he's the one running on the ground, seeing what is happening and why people are using, not using. So Pranav, help us understand in your experience, what is happening with these intelligent agents? What are the different nuances you are seeing which is helping you to either accelerate or sense the hindrance around it? So you can share some of your inputs around it.
So being from a service industry, we are running one step behind because we are not innovating in terms of AI and data, but we are supporting the whole continuation of that activity. So when it comes to application, we are the end users for this particular application. And again, we are talking about points of hindrance and point which are actually accelerators. As you said earlier, people are maybe major hindrance because of their lag. So change management needs to happen at human level. Otherwise, the rest of the two pillars, which are technology and process, with right amount of investment, they can be easily manageable. But people need to be in alignment with that sort of acceleration as well.
Very beautiful. So I think Pranav raised that no matter what technology you bring in, but you have to mobilize people. Now, Sri, coming to you. Now you've heard, around 80% of the panel was just below 5, and you were ahead of this. So help us learn that what is happening in your scenario, and Dell definitely a global brand leveraged. I remember year 2012 around, you launched your own websites, understanding the customer performance, browsing behavior, integrating data with their firmographics and so on. So please help us, the panel and the audience, to understand that how you're doing this magic, which is keeping you ahead in this automation and leveraging the intelligent agents. Yeah.
Wonderful. Shiv, first of all, thank you for having me here. Second, I thoroughly enjoyed whatever Nishchai and Hardik and what we had from a friend from I forgot your name, from Pranav and from Raymond's, what we heard. It thoroughly enjoyed the whole input. One thing and from a company perspective, when I said 12, there used to be this ad which says "Sare ghar ka badalna hai." So that's what we're doing right now. So in the entire company, pin to helicopter, we are on this journey right now. No exceptions. So that the culture is that way. But I just want to take a little step back, saying, it's been a few years that we've been seeing this data grow in this pace at which it's going. I'm talking right now, somebody's recording something, it's going to be there in some place, and and we've got social media, so data multiplies with that. So data is just multiplying, and somebody said 180 zettabytes by the end of this year. I don't know what's going to be next year. I hear that India data itself is going to increase 6-fold. and all of it is going to be in some cloud and in 5G sort of devices and stuff. So this is not stopping. So data is going to continue to multiply. So, so what do we do? What do we really want? When you were talking about the air conditioners or whatever products that you're selling, the good old days you had to go out there and check it out and possibly look in and back and will it fit into my window and stuff like that. A bunch of us today go online to different e-commerce websites and get it delivered. COVID taught us a lot of that, saying it's really hot, I can't go out there, please deliver this and stuff like that. A lot of the online purchase behavior without actually going out and using that data on e-commerce website happened there. On the example you gave in terms of the colors of blue and stuff like that, what I'm wearing right now, mauve maybe it is called, I don't know. But I can actually put it up onto some websites and say, does this combination look good on a stage? And I did. I tried this yesterday. Does this combination look good on a stage? I'm not even trying it on. I'm just saying this. So we've become so much of sort of what you can do with data in terms of without physically being out there. I'm in a technology company, so I have to be ahead, otherwise competition will kill us. So we have to be ahead of this, and whose competition? It's not the big names out there. It's the startups, it's the younger folks who are fresh out of college who gets funding from second round and third round, and so they are competing and saying, okay, now this is what I have textile available on Instagram, I have devices available on Instagram. So what is it that from the generation I come from, we were reactive. Competition did something, I'm a chartered accountant. Competition did something, my CFO would come and ask me something, I will quickly go and get something. That's my reactive behavior. From there, we've moved to saying, can you be more predictive? So Diwali season, something's going to happen. So can I just have some data ready saying Christmas is coming, sales are going to spike and stuff. Can I start becoming more predictive? Now, if I had to do that, I need a data set which is more autonomous, self-learning, and that's what Hardik was talking about, platforms. So we've made big investment, really, really big investment, saying that pin to helicopter, everybody is going to be on that platform, and that doesn't come easily. Perfect. I'm sitting in a country like where we are right now, you'll say, no, India is not like that. Please don't compare me to UK and US, and I need this because, the zip code of India, pin code of this behaves differently from pin code, and that's true. Bombay behaves different from, in terms of clothing and stuff from where I come from in Bangalore, which is true. But that's true for across the world. But we still said platform across the board same. Perfect. Which means processes across the board same. I don't want to get into the details. We have a couple of storage products, power store, and power scale and stuff like that, which is only meant to do this. So what does the customer want? At the end of it, customer wants to realize the full potential of all the data they have and then go and benefit out of it. So how do you gather that data into one place and then churn out the reporting and analytics? And then, of course, the right people. That's the...
Fantastic. So I think with the audience now, I'm just concluding a part that you've heard the companies which are, fighting very hard with the dynamic environment of technology, and then at a technology front, how you're really making the magic of leveraging the data and AI and autonomous agents there. So now coming a little bit on the, the augmented analytics, Nishchai, if you can help us understand how the data and AI is really helping you to prepare and build model while you need to do on scale, then what is the next best thing that the companies or the technology can leverage using the augmented analytics to integrate data as well as the algorithms around it? And then possibly the one area which is very much emerging from the discussion, that something to do with the culture is going to help us accelerate or make value out of it. So Nishchai, if you can just make a quick pointer around the augmented analytics which is helping you to leverage data and AI around.
Sure. So keeping in mind how much time we have, I'll keep it short. So Pidilite as a company, we are very focused on, we're a distributor-led company. We sell Fevicol, we sell Dr. Fixit, we sell Roth. It's primarily through distributors, dealers, and then contractors finally make the buying decision. When I look at augmented analytics, there are two parts of it. One is creating that analytics stack, the recommendations, all that, and second is administering it on the applications. So what we realized is that, let's talk about the front end part first. So what we realized is that throughout the field, you know, especially the frontliners, data discovery doesn't make sense. You know, they just want to see what their targets are for the day. They want to know how they're going to get maximum incentives, and they don't need data discovery. As soon as I come up the value chain, that's where augmented analysis is actually making a lot of sense for us. So we want branch managers, we want zonal managers, sales heads, wanting to do data discovery through natural language query. And now we're able to give them those tools thanks to LLMs and a lot of these stacks evolving on Databricks, Azure, various other platforms, where now they're able to actually discover insights from the data. They're able to ask it questions. I think that's been a really big paradigm shift for us, because every time they had a certain analytics to be done, it took us time for us to actually plumb that data, get it, and put it into some form of a report and give them that. Now with NLQ, I think we've really shortened that life cycle. So that's one. Second is, in terms of augmented analytics, the whole data preparation and data glossary piece, or the data dictionary creation piece, has been really fast-tracked. So earlier we used to take a huge amount of time identifying various columns and labeling them, and then making them readable by various models, or even making them syndicatable. All of these things have become very simple because we're able to automate all of that. Perfect. And that allows us to create a lot of augmented analytics on top of this.
Perfect. So I think that's the magic, and when we see the brands like Pidilite, how closer they are getting to the consumers as well as they're enabling stakeholders. So I think the data is really doing the real magic. Hardik, now if we little bit switch the gear, and if you can really reflect on what is the preparatory angle required when you really need to make the mass movement where people have to understand the value of autonomous agents and agentic AI, how you really prepare, what is the role of the little bit empowerment and education that you impart within the company, either with the institutions, either partnering with your non-tech and data AI kind of people, and bringing them back for the value creation for yourself. So what's the role of education and a little bit knowledge sharing there?
Yeah. See, earlier it was only about tools that we thought people like, how to use AI. But with this agentic AI coming in place, it's now how people should deal with the systems that are thinking. So that's very important in that area. Like, people still have to be told that, okay, we are deploying this agent, but still you are accountable for this process. So while the accountability still relies with the human, but an agent is being placed there which needs to be monitored, checked properly, and then act upon it. So, and plus the person who is monitoring it should know, like, okay, if agent has taken some decision, then why it has taken that decision. So that's very important, and this overall communication becomes very important. So in terms of education, if I would say, so definitely they need to learn to interact with these systems that are thinking. I think cross-disciplinary learning, like, coding along with ethics, along with governance, to see how the overall AI ecosystem is working, that will help them interact more with these agents coming in. Yeah.
Perfect. So I think coming from the very much implementation point, Pranav, if you can add your 2 interventions that you're doing to make people more aware and adaptable to these agentic AI usage. And I'm pretty sure by now half of the organizations are very smart in writing the prompts better and better in today's time. So you can just share from the Blue Star perspective, what is happening? What are the 2 interventions you're doing to make people more actionable around it?
First of all, it's all about doing the right prompts, like asking the right type of questions. And on the other end, the training should be on the right kind of data. There should not be any falsification, or there should not be a repetitive data who is false, and again that model trains on the same data, and it keeps on going in the loops. And at the end, the result is completely fabricated. So first would be to educate everyone on that perspective, that this may happen. You have to keep that in mind, and then take actions accordingly. I think that would be the first.
Perfect. So now coming back again, when you're leading your different teams and organizations, So in my journey, while I led one of the Indian conglomerate and very much, when Biswajit, I was with Mahindra's, it was the 2015, and they started investing in data and AI, and I think it was the first time they had a role like head of data science, which I happened to take up at that in year 2015. So I would love to understand the cultural perspective, and Nishchai from you as well, and Sri, you can help us. What are the more enabling factor there? What are the cultural setup which you are, creating with the respect to the leadership and with respect to the creator of the agentic AI solutions and as well as the user of the solutions as well. So what are the interventions, how you really manage the transformation in a big way where, bringing the technology is the easier part, but how you really change the mindset. So what are the few blocks that you have put in your journey, and possibly starting with you, Siri, and then possibly Biswajit and Nishchai, you can comment on this.
Yeah, so I think culture is the most important. Any transformation you're doing will fail if you don't have a proper culture in it. So the cultural setup saying that we really want to improve is very, very important. And at Dell and even the earlier organizations that I've been, I think a conscious effort has been made saying that, I think you called it out, saying, bad garbage in, garbage out. So bad data, bad output, bad process, bad output. So the first thing that you need to set in place, I think, Hardik, I'm going to pick on what you said again. You put something into a platform, if it's a bad process, AI is going to be bad. So I think the first thing is that set your processes right, is the first thing you do. Second is we have data stewards in the company whose job is to see that these kind of outliers that Pranav was calling out is taken care of. We have a good mix of people in terms of youngsters and the tenured people. So the teams are mixed that way so that the fresher ideas which are coming out, college kids are very, very intelligent right now in terms of solutioning, in terms of coding and stuff like that. But they may not understand outliers in terms of data sets. So the data stewards who are there in the team are very, very critical. Third is that there is a vision. It's not a forever thing. You've got to get to a point saying what are the milestones, when do you want to get the process right, when do you want to get the platform right, and what is the end vision that you are envisaging for the company. The most important thing is that don't kill ideas. We've got people with ideas across the board. So regularly we run these hackathons, and we partner with NVIDIA, and we've got a lot of joint activities happening with other companies that we're working with within our company. So those ideas need to keep coming, and between the stewards and the organization and the vision, get to saying what do you really want to do. So the flow of ideas is important. That's the culture which you need to have.
Yeah, so I think it's a lot around democratization of all the AI capabilities. Now, I think, Biswajit, I'm going to add a layer, and possibly for you as well, Nishchai. So along with when we talk culture, also the angle is there ROI, and I'm pretty sure across the globe, you don't invest until unless you see the ROI, and ROI can have tangible and intangible, sometime possibly immediately, some the dollar impact either the bottom line or the revenue levers may not be the visible one, but what are the few elements of ROI framework that you design while you are talking about the cultural mindset? So I think this is a little bit from the Raymond perspective, and Nishchai, you can think through what the Pidilite is and how you're driving there. So first starting with you.
Wonderful. 2022, right? When company wants to invest in AI, they said, what is happening in AI, right? In every meeting, they will only ask what is happening in AI, because AI was a very fancy term for us, right? Now, if I'm entering to an office, people will not ask me in the meeting, what is happening in AI? Rather, they will ask, usme hua kya? What is that you got out of this? So for me, when I look at this, it gives me 4 pillars. The first one is your platform, right? Everybody talks about platform. So you can have the data, you can have platform, the second is the connectivity, right? You can have API, you can have database, blah, blah, blah. We can do that. The third one, which is the most critical component, is that what I call as the memory part. The fourth one is called the orchestration, which you still can do. The third one is the extremely critical, which is called as the reasoning part. In this reasoning, if you are not building the right context, then it's extremely difficult for you to generate ROI out of it. Now, here, many of us are here techies, right? This third layer is not only generate, because Gen AI, agentic AI go hand in hand. Now the third layer requires a lot of business acumen, business domain, business views to generate, your ROI. I'll give you a very live example. One example, when I thought of launching one product, AI product, agentic AI product, which still on, I'll say beta version or full load version because it's already there on the market, right? When I started launching the new product called InstaHeart, the objective of this agent is to identify right product for right customers, right? So what happened, when initially we launched that product, the retail head, the CBO in that same meeting, he said, okay, you invest from your budget. Now, after seeing 14 crore of incremental revenue, he said, Dr. Biswa, can I add some more budget from my division to improve the ecosystems, right? This is what I call as a handshake between CXOs. So there are three components. One, transparency. Second, empathy. Sometimes what happens, techies feel, okay, I'm the guy. No, that's not, what the new technology era is, right? So transparency, empathy, and the last is the extremely critical is called accountability. You cannot just launch a AI product and just say, hey, this is what. No. Every day, because it's self-learning models, every day it will keep on learning. So you have to go back to your business guys again and again. That is how this loop.
Right.
Thank you.
I think it's bringing a very interesting point, that transparency, accountability, and ownership of the model. So, Nishchai, I think you have to do a little bit that. How do you really communicate the success of investments around agentic AI, autonomous AI, and especially when you talk now culture, value creation, ROI measurement, and then communication of the value around the investment. So, in case you could just take a little stab on this and help us understand your framework around it, yeah?
The way we've looked at the AI framework is we've tried to build it in the prism for the AI use cases that we've created. So essentially we have a prism for the AI use cases that we've filtered through. So when we started off, we did a lot of workshops with all the departments to find out what are the use cases that are there. And in each of these use cases, one point that we embedded is time to value or time to realization of benefits. And we've tried to pick those use cases where we see the maximum benefit. So feasibility was one of the lens for choosing the use cases, but ROI was one of the bigger lenses. Okay, and whenever we've implemented the use cases, like we've implemented a use case for our contact center where we've automated almost 50,000 calls that come every month just for the contractors asking to enroll through a generative AI powered bot. So now the bot is able to speak in 7 languages to the contractors. Contractors are people who want to enroll into our loyalty. They're able to speak with the bot and they're able to enroll it. We had 50 agents sitting and doing this. So I'm saving a couple of crores just by doing this. And these are the low-hanging fruits that we're trying to realize out of this. In terms of a larger framework to look at what we're doing with AI, we are actually working with the board to create this business outcome driven drivers, because we have something for digital. Now we're trying to juxtapose it for AI also. But the way I'm seeing it is that the AI landscape and the way that we are driving these use cases are a lot of point use cases for now. And I think as we grow, as we start talking to each other, we'll be able to crystallize this better.
Very interesting. So Hardik, and then I'm going to have Pranav. Pranav, I think my question to you, and I'll come back after Hardik answers. So what are the few recommendations you will give to the data, AI and tech people while you sit at the more action side? But a question before I come to you, possibly you can help us, Hardik. How do you take the use cases from pilot to the scale? So how you really make the magic happen where you can really start something small, but it can become an org-wide initiative for you?
The idea is always to start small with the minimal impact and then scale it gradually. So that way you also know its usage, and also in specifically in terms of AI initiatives where that token counting becomes important, like how many tokens are being used, how infrastructure is being scaled up, so what GPU requirements are. So all that becomes very easy once you deploy it, use it on a very smaller level, and then try and scale up gradually so that you know what's the incremental usage that's happening, how to scale up. And then once you reach a certain threshold, then it's time to give a boost saying that, okay, now that we know what will be the differences in terms of the use, what is the usage pattern, how is it going all along, then is the time to make a decision like, is this now scalable? Yes. And then if it needs to be scaled, then what capacity do it start with, and take it to the next level altogether. So that really helps in this new age technology.
Fantastic. So coming back to you, Pranav. So when you work with the tech, data, AI, professionals, they are very much crazy about their own world, right? Means writing best of the algorithms, creating the best of the technology. So as a user, what are your few recommendations which you would like to pass while, working with these data and tech teams?
Right now where the innovation is going on, and as an user what we are using is a very little part of it. It is very customized part of whatever happening at the global scale. So my recommendation would be to know about the use cases in each and all industries, and then developing small models which cater to that particular application very effectively, rather than just going for a huge hyperscaler model or LLMs, which can do everything, but if you want to run them for a small application, they may incur higher costs. So probably I would request, for the application point of view, it is better to go for that smaller niche application, which is very, very much customized to the end application.
Really fantastic point. And I think the business can appreciate the application only when it is solving their problem, no matter how best the technology is. And it's a fantastic input. We have covered across the where we stand, what are the value creation framework, how we scale from idea to scale, and bringing the many of the real-time data analytics around it. So I'll leave a few minutes with the audience in case you have a question. The leaders from the Pidilite kind of the business, then finance, technology, conglomerate, and the cooling industry. So I'll just open the floor to the audience as well, in case you feel from the conversation something which is very much contrasting in your industry and possibly fantastic, everyone. I think a great round of applause for all the panel member. I think it was fantastic to learn on the topic, and looking forward to more conversation in the break time. So thank you so much.